never meant one word. I never meant one word. I never meant one word I said. I never meant one word. I never meant one word. I never meant one word I said. Now you're my one, and you're my only regret. I never meant one word. I never meant one word. I never meant one word I said. I used to sit up at night just so I could watch ya. I wrote on my bedroom wall, Nanaboozhoo loves Natasha.
Okay, hey, BOOZHOO! And welcome back to BOOZHOO NANABOOZHOO, the podcast about Ojibwe language and culture. I am Nanaboozhoo, and over here, the lovely and the talented Natasha. Ekadon BOOZHOO, Winnie Mushane. Say hello to the BOOZHOO crew. Hello, BOOZHOO crew! BOOZHOO crew! How you doing? Hey, everybody. BOOZHOO Isani. BOOZHOO Daniel Black. BOOZHOO Jessica Wabooz. And BOOZHOO Jim Dunn. 1, 2, 3, 4. The BOOZHOO crew's here. What else? How could you ask for more? Nah! How's it going, baby? Oh, I'm doing great. How are you? I can't complain. I mean, I could, I suppose. I finally have a platform to complain. You think people want to hear you complain? Yeah. You know what really gets to me? You know what I think is a pain in the neck? Don't you dare. What? Are you going to make a Derek Chauvin joke? No. What? Way too soon, Natasha. Hikes. Why would you think I was going to go there? I don't know. You got that look about you today, like you want to tell some dangerous jokes. No. No, I don't find Derek Chauvin a pain in the neck. Let's see. Where was I going with this? Oh, having a platform to complain. Sometimes a person just needs to unload. Sometimes a person just needs to complain. I mean, yes, I'm the first guy to want to complain about cancel culture, about Karens. Oh, let me see the manager. Hey, let me speak to the manager. I got to complain about something. I've been a very vocal complainer about complainers. Like a microaggression. Well, did I do a microaggression? Well, I only micro care. Let me have a micro apology for my microaggression, Oh, did that sound racist? Well, I micro care. But sometimes, if I'm being completely fair, sometimes a person just needs to converse to have someone to talk to. That's why you're here, sweetie. That's why I'm here. Yep. You're my conversation circle. You and Michael down here. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, Michael Lyons. Hey, everybody. He's the creator of the show. But in the Anishinaabe way, kind of what I wanted to talk about today. Now that the BOOZHOO crew is in here, and they're already chatty. Did you see the conversation? Yeah, they're talking. Yeah. Well, back in the days of the grandfathers, in the traditional Anishinaabe life, sometimes we would get together, and sometimes you might stand around in a circle and have a tobacco ceremony. Sometimes that meant going outside for a smoke break. Sometimes you might invite someone into your home, and you might sit in the living room and have coffee, or sit around the table in a circle and gossip about your relatives and about people in the community, especially if they were misbehaving. Oh, did you see that racy photo of that guy and his wife? What a tool. But in the Anishinaabe way, I would like to bring up our first word of the day. Gana-ooge is to converse. Gana-ooge. And a day to beside is a circle. So like, Natasha, you and Michael are kind of my talking circle. And Benjamin and Makwa and Anamosh and Stephen. Oh, I forgot to get Stephen. Maybe Stephen can come up with you later. Okay. We have a few cats here in the and Bagheera. How can I forget my cat? I have a little group, a conversation circle. And in the Anishinaabe way, if you had to discuss something kind of difficult, let's say back in the days of the wars and all that, people like to pretend that, oh no, we were all equal, oh, the women and the men, we're equal. Okay, sort of. But we did have a conversation circle. But we also had a full-on chief who would make the final decision. But before the chief would make a decision, he would want to hear from the elders and from the warriors and from the women and from the medicine people, and they would have a big circle, and they might take like a talking stick, This is a drumstick, but they might have a talking stick. You can use a feather. You can use anything really. But the rule of the game would be, okay, I got the talking stick, so now I'm going to talk, and I can talk for as long as I want, and everybody will listen. They're not going to challenge me. They're not going to ask. They can ask questions if they want, but they don't have to. But you go around. You'd have like a ceremony. Sit in a circle, maybe smudge down, maybe smoke the pipe. Remember that scene in Dances with Wolves? When John Dunbar is in the lodge with old, what's his name? Ten Bears? Yeah. It was my grandma's cousin, right? Yeah. Floyd Red Crow Westerman. Floyd Red Crow Westerman. Yeah, there was that scene where he wants to talk to Dances with Wolves. And he brings him into this little lodge, into his teepee. And they go, let's smoke the pipe so there'll be no lies between us. So you might smoke the pipe, But the conversation circle was sacred. And they might have a topic. You might say, you know what, let's talk about what should we do, let's say, about... should we move on to the reservation? Or should we, keep fighting? That decision was ultimately made by one guy in the end. But everybody got to chime in and advise advise the Ogama, the chief. And so they'd pass along the talking circle to the left, always going a clockwise circle. Always going to de Tibisade. And you didn't have to talk, you know. You could get that talking stick and just go, oh, okay, and pass it along, you know. If you didn't want to talk, you didn't have to. But this was known as a Gana-Uj de Tibisade, a talking circle. And that's kind of what this live stream is. It's a little talking circle where I will just dominate the conversation. What about, don't you want to hear from the BOOZHOO crew? Well, yeah, but they can't really talk. They can only write. Yeah. Because, Anin, and daso diba iganig. What time is it? It's a gibberish time, sweetie. It's a gibberish time. You're going to show the gibberish cartoon. Yeah. A little talk on the talking circle wasn't going anywhere. Hey, everybody, look at this. Hey, wagosh. Anin. And daso di ba iganig. And daso di ba iganig. What time is it? It's hammer time. It's hammer time. Yeah, I think so. Bum ba da dum. Bum ba dum. Can't touch this. Dum ba da dum. Ba dum ba dum. Can't touch us. Is that how that song goes? I don't really remember. I remember hearing a story about that guy, Hammer. And he said he went back, he built a big old mansion in his old poor neighborhood in the poor part of town, wherever he was from. He said he wanted to inspire the locals, that if they worked hard, they could become successful like Hammer Time. And did that work? No. It inspired his neighbors to like throw rocks at his house and stuff. Kept on getting robbed. They all resented him for, flashing his money around, the poor people. He eventually moved out. Went and moved in with a bunch of rich people. Bum ba da dum. Hey, well, gosh. So here we got a little fox, right? Oh. And we got Anamosh. Anamosh means dog. So we got Wagosh. Kind of like Papa Wagosh. We got the fox and a dog. And dog saying, hey. Hey, Wagosh. Anin. And daso diba iganig. What time is it? Does anybody really know? And you might say, like if it's 2 o'clock, you would say, Nijo diba iganig. Diba iganig. It's 2 o'clock. But even that term, that expression's weird, huh? O'clock? Where does that come from? Of clock? Yeah, I suppose. How come they don't say it's 2 of clock? They have to abbreviate it like Land O'Lakes. Oh, it's 2 o'clock. It is ye old, whatever. Old Dutch. Anin. And daso di ba iganing. What time is it? But that's not a question I ever. That's not a Ojibwe that I ever use. You know why, sweetie? Why? Because clock doesn't tell me what time it is. I tell a clock what time it is. Do you tell it you're on Indian time? Exactly. Thank you. Clock don't tell me. Gana-Uj de Tibisade, the conversation circle. A talking circle, basically. That's kind of what I'm trying to say. Once I was a fool, dreaming my life away, but it's Tuesday. Nijo Gisha good. Nijo Gisha good. Nijo Gisha good. La 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 ha ha. Looking for me. What does the BOOZHOO crew got to say for themselves? Oh boy, I've been waiting for it. Thank you, Jessica. Wait. I feel like I'm reading somebody else's mail. They're talking to each other. Hey, you guys, pay attention. I don't want you passing notes in class. We're trying to learn some Ojibwe here. These doggone kids. Do you know how lucky you are that you have the privilege to learn the language of our ancestors? Do you know how many Latinos wanted to learn their native language, Latin, and nobody would teach it to them, so they just had to speak Spanish? They just had to speak Spanish. I don't know, man. Oh, God. Hey, sweetie. Yeah? You've got a phone call. I do? On what line, pray tell? On line 2. On line 2. Hoka hey. BOOZHOO, caller. Welcome to the BOOZHOO NANABOOZHOO podcast. You're on the air. Ah! Jeez. Is that you, Cookie Monster? Yeah, me like cookie. Yeah, I know you like cookies. What do you want? Me call BOOZHOO NANABOOZHOO. Yeah, I know. Sweetie, it's Cookie Monster. Yeah, I kind of figured. Ladies and gentlemen, Cookie Monster. What can I do for you, Cookie? Me teach Ojibwe word. No, you can't teach a Ojibwe word. Nah, me teach. Dude, you're clearly strung out on something. I don't know if this is what kind of drug you're on. Probably just sugar and, chocolate chips. But I can't have you calling my show and disrupting it with your nonsense. Me want teach Ojibwe. All right, I'll tell you what, Cookie. You can read the Ojibwe phrase of the day, all right? Okay, let me read. Gana ooge. Gana ooge! Gana ooge! Yes, but you don't have to shout it. Gana ooge. Yeah, that means to converse. It doesn't mean to shout like a crazy person. You work on an educational show. I don't know how you get away with being... anyway. And then de tibisaid is a circle. Yeah, de tibisaid! Ah! Yep, de tibisaid. You know NANABOOZHOO? Yes. What else is de tibisaid? Let me guess. Cookie? Yeah, cookie! Ah! Me love cookie! Yeah, I know you love cookies, dude. How many times are we going to have the same conversation? I remember back in the days, I'd invite you to my house. And I would... Remember that, sweetie? Yeah! Cookie would come and visit. Yeah. And I finally had to cut him off. I felt like I was hosting some kind of a drug addict, alcoholic. He'd come over and just eat the whole box of cookies while all of us would... Do you remember that? Yeah. Cookie comes to my house. I had bought one of those little plastic containers. There's like 12 cookies in there. And, I make some coffee. We sit down. We're just going to kind of chill, have some coffee and some cookies. I wanted to be a good host. And then this lunatic, he just gobbles up the whole thing. Ugh. I was embarrassed for him at first, and then I was just sort of annoyed with you, Cookie. I'm going to be honest with you. Yeah, me sorry. Well, it's called tough love. You need to maybe check yourself into treatment or something. I mean, who else do you know carries on like you do? Charlie Sheen? Yeah, even Charlie Sheen cleaned up, okay? I think it's time you do too, all right? Look, man, I gotta go. You're bumming me out. Sorry. Nah, it's all right. I don't know.
Okay. Hey,
Yeah, what?
can Cookie Monster say one more phrase?
What?
Niemand and damn. Me sorry.
Sweetie, he's sorry. Yeah. It's okay, Niji. I'm being awfully harsh on you. And hey, nice use of the word nimanendam, you guys. I'm sorry. Cookie, I know you got a problem. And actually, you know what? If you go to treatment, brother, they're gonna put you in a GOFUNDME database. They'll put you in a talking circle. You can talk about some of your issues. You're gonna meet other people who've been where you are. You know, maybe there's like Foodaholic Anonymous or something you could go to.
Yeah, that good idea.
Yeah, I mean, you got to get some help. So, I'm sorry too. Hey man, I'm sorry. I came down hard on you. It's a disease you got, and you don't deserve that. So hey, hang in there, brother.
Okay. Gigawabamin minawa.
Okay, Deej. Gigawabamin Manawa. Ugh. Poor old Cookie Monster. Yeah. I mean, I hope he gets the help he needs. Maybe he will. Yeah, I could. All right, so what's going on down here? Isani's here. Hey, BOOZHOO, Isani. She says, my ma heard Cookie Monster and started rolling. Yeah, that Cookie Monster, he's crazy. Poor old Cookie Monster. I think it's hard for him on Sesame Street, too. Really? Yeah, you can kind of tell that he's not. I think the rest of the cast and crew have kind of had it up to here. It's kind of like having a friend who's just a raging alcoholic or a drug addict, They will admit, it's like, yeah, it's hard to. I'm kind of a pain in the neck. You know what else is a pain in the neck? Don't you dare! Sweetie, I'm not going to make Derek Chauvin jokes. Oh, right. Okay. What's a pain in the neck? Never mind. So, Jessica's here. Daniel Black. I was in a talking circle when my sisters, we had an issue that we had to be addressed. Oh, yeah. Family counseling. That's always in a talking circle. I used to be involved in some of these. We go out to a family that's trying to adopt or something. I worked for what was North Homes considered? Social services, I guess. Yeah, I had one of these weird jobs. I don't even know my title. But I go out there and burn a little sage, and me and a social worker would sit down with a family who's having problems and help them have a conversation. Oh wow, look who's here. Rick's here. BOOZHOO, Rick. Rick Malachek's here, sweetie. BOOZHOO, Rick. What's up, Niji? And Rick says, BOOZHOO, Michael. Michael, Rick's here. Hey, BOOZHOO, Michael. BOOZHOO, Rick. Hoka, hey. Jessica says, I have to turn my volume down. Cookie Monster is so intense. I know. That's what the pain in the neck. I don't like people who shout. Just take it down a notch. That's all I'm saying. Some people are just really high energy and it sucks the life out of you. Come on, man. Turn it back a little bit. You don't have to shout. Although I remember my grandpa, near the end there, he got really hard of hearing. And he also got hard of turning up his hearing aid. He used to just kind of tune my grandma out by turning down his hearing aid. But then now you couldn't hear it all. And you'd get him on the phone. He'd get on the phone with you and you could still talk normal. He'd be like, hey, what's going on? I'd be like, hey, Grandpa, how's it going? He'd be like, what? I said, how's it going? Huh? How's it going? Jeez. It'd be like in the summer and I would know like my neighbors could hear me shouting at my grandpa. But he couldn't hear. I was Cookie Monster. I became that annoying guy nobody wanted to listen to. So then they had to finally have a talking circle. And they were like, listen, Matt, your loud talking has affected me in the following ways. The once carefree child I used to love so much is now a shouter. You've become a pain in my neck. You know what else is a pain in my neck, sweetie? La, la, la. What are some jokes you just... It's still too soon. There are some things that are too soon to make jokes about. You can't make Derek Chauvin jokes. You can't look at, it's just too soon. There's going to come a day where there'll be like some black guy that you're annoyed with. Don Lemon. Don Lemon's going to come on and say something stupid. And there will come a time when you can say, where's Derek Chauvin when you really need him? And everybody can laugh together. And we'll all go, ha ha. Yeah, you don't, but it's too soon. You can't do it yet. The wound is too raw. Yeah, I think that's the smart way to go. Ladies and gentlemen, Natasha. Hi, everybody. Yeah, so I'm not going to make Derek Chauvin jokes. Can you make John Benet Ramsey jokes yet? That has been like 20-some years. But it was the murder of a child. Is that too soon? I don't know. I don't know if it's a question of being too soon or just too sensitive of a subject. But if it was okay to make a joke about John Benet Ramsey, what would you say? What could be the funny angle there? Not only was it a hoax, the tragedy was she did turn out to be, who's that lady who was married to Russell Brand? You're the only one who knows that couple as the one who used to be married to Russell Brand. Yeah, she's like the second most popular singer in the world. Katy Perry. There are some people who say John Benet Ramsey is actually Katy Perry. And sure enough, you look at the pictures and hikes, it looks like Katy Perry as a kid. But then you watch another video and they go, no, John Benet Ramsey. John, by the way, that's a little boy in drag. And you look at those pictures and you go, maybe it was. Again, I believe everything I see. You tell me anything, I believe it. I'm the least skeptical person in the world. I mean, by believing one thing, I then stop believing in a past thing. But the joke around John Benet Ramsey would have to have something to do with Katy Perry and hating Katy Perry's music so much that you wish the original story was true and that somebody had a... But no, it's too touchy, too sensitive. I don't think this is the platform for me to complain. And this is the platform for me to converse, to, de type say, take a don, whatever. My thoughts. To, share the knowledge and the history of the Anishinaabe people. At least a little bit that I might have. And to try to do it in a good way, in a respectful way. So I will not make jokes about Derek Chauvin or about John Benet Ramsey. It's too soon. How about the space shuttle? It can't be too soon for the space shuttle, right? Yeah, go ahead. Isn't that hilarious, the space shuttle? Christy McCullough. What color were Christy McCullough's eyes when the space shuttle blew up? Blue. One blue that way and one blue that way. What kind of shampoo did Christy McCullough and space shuttle crew members used when the space shuttle blew up? Well, I'm not sure, but I think I heard their head and shoulders washed up on the beach, or something like that. I don't know. You can totally make fun of the space shuttle because nobody died. Do your own research if you're interested, but that's sort of 7th grade level conspiracy theory. The Space Shuttle Challenger. That was some kind of weird psyop. The government was like, yeah, let's we started running off at the mouth again, claiming we had invented a new kind of spaceship. Oh, this rocket just looks exactly like a plane. We call it the space shuttle. And it'll be on the back of a rocket, and we'll blow it up into space. But then it'll come back and it'll land like a plane. So we can use it over and over again. Isn't that great? And then they went, okay, we got to blow these things up and give us an excuse for not doing this anymore. We're going back to just shooting rockets up, which are probably balloons. And so they staged the space shuttle blowing up. And they made a big deal out of it. They're like, we're going to send the first elementary school teacher into space. And nobody said, isn't that kind of reckless? Wouldn't you rather send, like, I don't know, a test pilot, a astronaut, I don't know, somebody trained, an Air Force person? Nope, we're going to send some lady who went to, liberal arts college and got a license to teach social studies or something. We're going to shoot her up in a rocket. Because this way we'll get all the kids to watch. And so the big day comes. And it was still in the old days where they didn't have TVs in every classroom. They had to wheel in the TV from the library. There'd be like one TV in the school. And all the kids would gather around. And they said, okay, watch this, kids. And they tuned into CNN or whatever to watch the big space shuttle rocket launch of 1985, I think? 86. Whenever that was. And they counted down. They were like, hey, 3, 2, 1. And it flew up a little bit. And then boom, it blows up. And they shut off the TV. And they wheel it up back to the library. And I said, okay, kids. Now let's turn into your math books to page 34. And all the kids are like, did that teacher just die? It's like, what now? The teacher from the TV. And the teacher be like, oh, you mean, yeah, from before? Yeah, she's dead. Anyway, picking up from where we let off yesterday, we're going to talk about dangling participles. It was just that was like some sort of weird, all those guys are in secret society stuff. It was some sort of weird ceremony to traumatize the kids and to justify ending, I mean, they've been promising to go back to the moon since 1973, But then, you can research immediately if you Google Space Shuttle Challenger crew. A picture is going to come up with the crew, and 9 out of 10 of them are still alive, 35 years older, working in like colleges and doing whatever. And their names are slightly different. Oh, I'm the twin brother of that guy. Nothing to see here, whatever. So that's not too soon. What else? O.J. Simpson? Yeah. Anything funny about O.J. Simpson? That's the thing where they made so many jokes, it's just not even funny anymore. How about 9/11? Can we joke about 9/11? Yeah, you just can't do it on 9/11. Okay. So we're coming up on 20-year anniversary. Yeah, we are. Pretty soon it'll be the 20-year anniversary of 9/11. 9/11, man. We used to have a song about 9/11. Do I still have it here? Crashing down. Crashing down. But I don't think I pulled it up. No. Only song I have is about Natasha. Jessica says, oh wow, that's going to be a really big thing out here. Oh, Missy's here. BOOZHOO, Missy. You guys are mighty lively today. We're talking about inappropriate humor. You know, we're living in an age where people want to say, hey, that crosses the line. You can't joke about that. Don't joke about the COVID. My grandfather died of COVID. Don't you joke. Don't you joke about my mask. This is not a face diaper. It's much too serious a time to make jokes about this. It's too soon, huh, sweetie? Yep, too soon. What else is too soon? Trump? It's too soon to joke about Joe Biden dying in office. You think he's going to die in office? I think the odds are pretty good. So it's way too soon to make jokes about that. It's not funny yet because he's still alive, number one. And if he dies just of natural causes like today, I'm going to feel bad. Don't joke about Joe Biden dying, you guys. It's too soon. Yeah. Hey, sweetie. Yeah? George W. Bush is on the line. Oh, brother, really? Should I take it? I guess. Okay. Hey, George W., welcome back to the show. Oh, wow, that's not George W., that's George Washington. What am I doing? Hello there, NANABOOZHOO. Oh, I thought it was George W. No, sweetie, it's George Washington from the Mount Rushmore Monument. What can I do for you today, Mr. Washington? Well, I just wanted to know if you were going to be making fun of me. Making fun of you? Why would I make fun of you? Well, it's too soon. You know, I think the wounds of my passing are still too raw. What, you think people are still grieving the death of you? Yes, our nation was in mourning the day I died. How did you die? You don't know of the great assassination of George Washington? You were assassinated? No, I never heard about that. Yeah, my wife killed me. Really? I never heard that. Yeah, you know, the history books, they don't teach you nothing. Why did your wife kill you? Well, I was going to expose that my wife was a man. Get out of here. Yeah, you know, take a look at her picture. I don't have a picture of your wife. Well, next time you Google something, look at it. You know, Martha Washington was a dude. I was married to a guy. You know, this is how conspiracy theories get started. Is this really George Washington? No, this is just the George Washington Monument, man. I don't know anything about George Washington. I'm just a statue. Oh, you're right, of course. What am I doing? Sweetie, it's not even George Washington, the real guy. You mean it's just a monument? Yeah, he's still up here from that day we had him in a Crazy Horse Monument. Well, how you doing, Mr. Washington? I didn't realize I still had you on the phone bank. Oh, I'm doing well. It's a beautiful day here in South Dakota. We're expecting lots of tourists. Yeah. I'm noticing you're not wearing a mask. What do I look like? I can't even say it. Yeah, don't say it. It's a kid's show. No, I don't wear a mask. Did you get vaccinated? You think they could vaccinate the man of stone? No, I didn't get vaccinated, and I'm not wearing a mask. You know why? Why? Because I'm not a coward. I'm an American. I live free, and I live brave. Yeah, you sure do. Free and brave. I guess that's kind of the whole point of living in America, huh? Yep. You know, I just wanted to have a little country place, someplace I could grow my weed. I thought you were a hemp farmer. Well, yeah, that was a front. I was growing the weed so I could smoke my marijuana. You like the weed, boy? I don't want to talk about the kid show. Yeah, well, me and Martha, we'd smoke weed. Me and that dude, he was a cross-dresser. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, so it's too soon to make fun of me, okay? I won't make fun of you. And quit being so thin-skinned, for crying out loud. I make fun of people because I think it's funny. Yeah, well, whatever. Besides, what have I ever made fun of you? Well, you know, you tell us stories about Washington. Yeah, that's about Washington the president. The 8th president of America, okay? I don't make fun of the Washington Monument. I actually have a lot of respect for you. And I think you're, you know... Hey, here's a question for you. What's that? Did this guy Berglund something, a Polish immigrant who was a member of the Ku Klux Klan, is he really the artist behind Mount Rushmore? I never heard of him. Yeah, I didn't think so either. Wikipedia will say that you were carved by a guy, I think his name is Berglund, but I can never remember. That he carved you and the other 3 guys in like 4 years or something, you know. And people, when people don't do an art, they can't picture how to do it. You know, like I've seen some old drawings where like, I can tell that, what? How did he do this drawing? I can draw, so I know it would take blank amount of hours. Just in labor. But I don't sculpt, and yet I know, I don't believe you could just carve a face the size of yours in 1 year with dynamite. Yeah, that whole story is ridiculous. I can tell you the truth, but you know, I don't want to get into it. All right. Anything else I can do for you today, George? Oh, let's see. Did you teach an Ojibwe word of the day yet? Yeah, we had a couple. What was the second one? Wagosh is a fox. Wagosh, a fox. You know who was a fox? Who's that? Not my wife. You don't think your wife was a fox? No, I told you, he was a dude. I don't want to get into why I had to be married to a dude. It's a whole hazing thing. Hazing? Yeah, you know, from that My Secret Club. Oh, right. No, wait, you're the monument, not the president. Oh, right, sorry. I wasn't married to anybody. Okay. And then we, Anin, and daso iba iganig. What time is it? Anin, and daso diba iganig. What time is it? You know what time it is? Hammer time? Yeah, it's a good one. Now it's time for me to go. I got a mahjong. You gotta leave? That's right. How do you say that? I'll see you again, though. You say, Gigawabamin, Minawa. All right, then. Gigawabamin, Minawa, Nanaboozhoo. Yeah, okay, George. Gigawabamin, Minawa. Oh, wow. George Washington, sweetie. Well, the George Washington Monument. Yeah, I thought that was going to be George W. Bush. I did too. It's weird. I should get those two confused. Yep, we'll have to relabel that later. But, yeah. So there is a difference between the monument and the man. I think we weren't clear about that before. Yeah. Missy says, sounds like it has his wooden teeth in. Yeah, George Washington had wooden teeth. That's what they said. You know, history books, they record the important stuff. You know, they retain details of George Washington's dentures, but nobody can give you a straight answer about all these buried buildings. The cities underneath the cities. I was watching one of these videos about the mud flood again. Yeah. And this one was in like the Czech Republic or somewhere. It was just like a million videos you've all seen that nobody will answer. They start digging, a water pipe breaks, and they see, those windows, not the little basement windows, but the windows that go down and just a little top part peeks out. And sometimes they're curved windows, brick buildings usually. And you go, that's weird that they had a window in the basement, a big window, that just looks out into the dirt. or they'll go in the basement and there'll be like a whole bricked up door into dirt. I go, what's... And they keep digging. They go, wait a second. This whole building is built on a whole nother building. And it just keeps going. And there's hallways and then streets and tunnels. And they go, okay, what happened here? They call it the mud flood. Well, Minnesota has this too. Every old city has these old, beautiful buildings with a mysterious underground. Some colleges, in our college we got tunnels. And they go, oh yeah, it's cold, so they dug a tunnel between the buildings, way underground. With round walls. So the kids could go from classroom to classroom without having to catch a cold. You go, what? When did they do this? 1880. 1880, 1890, 1900. There was about 20 years there where every city was built way more than they needed. Like the town I'm from, like LaPorte, sweetie. History records there were 111 people. And they had a pickle factory, a hotel, a bank, a jail, a railway, what's that called? Where the railway station stopped. A railway. They built all this in the course of about 20 years. And then, of course, just like Chicago and San Francisco and Portland and you name it, there was a big fire and it burned down all these brick buildings. Oh, there's this crazy explosion. And there's a story that nobody living can really verify anymore. It talks about the big fire that destroyed the town. And instead of building back in brick and all this stuff, they decided to make it what new buildings look like. 2 stories tall. Small windows. Just no more columns. No more domes. No more statues. None of that. No more tunnels. So it's like, doggone it, what's our real history, you guys? Quit pretending that you know. Or quit pretending that you're telling us the truth if you do know the truth. Are you yelling at the BOOZHOO crew again? Yeah. Listen, BOOZHOO crew, what's the truth? Is the history of America much older than you're led on? I know you wrote the history books. Jessica Waboos knows it. The mud flood. Thank you. Missy says, George W.'s teeth. Hey. Yeah, George was... George W's teeth. Hey, George was teeth. Hey, Didn't you hear? We had 0 deaths from COVID-19 yesterday. Now we see what really happens. Woo! No COVID deaths yesterday, sweetie. Or in the last year. That's not what the news said. I don't know anybody who's ever died from the COVID. Yeah, me either. Missy says, herd immunity at its best. Yeah, you know what herd immunity is? It's just being a sheep. It's being immune to your own common sense. Just listening to the TV and the screen to tell you what to think, how to behave. I heard somebody say, news alert, the CDC does not grant you your rights. They don't get to tell you what rights and privileges you have. Even the government doesn't give you your rights. That's what the Constitution's all about. It's, God gives you the rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. CDC, okay, you can now go back to pursuing happiness. We give you that right. You're welcome. It's like, you may now not wear a mask. Oh, really? Oh, thanks for your permission of the thing I never even asked for and wasn't playing along with anyway. Jessica says, I know several people who died from it, including my uncle. Oh, wow. I'm sorry, Jessica. People definitely did die, just mostly in highly populated areas. Did your uncle die of only COVID? I mean, people die of the flu every year, too. And my condolences. I'm very sorry. I don't mean to make light of the death of your uncle. But, there's a lot of COVID deaths that were, he was 86 and had diabetes and, and then COVID. People usually die of a number of things. Comorbidities or whatever. But, I trust Jessica when she says it. I don't necessarily trust the news. And they say, oh, in our county today, this many COVID deaths. Okay. How many flu deaths? None. Again, not a single one this year. Are you just calling the flu COVID? What is that? If a person has a heart attack because they can't breathe, do they die of a heart attack or they die of not being able to breathe? Jessica says, yes, he was in perfectly good health prior to that. No one expected it. Hikes. Oh, that's too bad. Jessica says, COVID definitely is real, but so is the government taking advantage of it. Yeah, that's what it really is. Government's taking advantage. Don't let a good tragedy go exploited. I knew, let's see, one person in my real life who got HIV. There's a roommate of mine in the 90s, gay guy. And we thought he was going to die soon. And he never did. But I've never known anybody who's had AIDS. And apparently there were lots of deaths. And I'm assuming there's still deaths. I don't know. But they exploited the AIDS deaths. And I'm not sure, what agenda was there. But, yeah. Just because, yes, my uncle was 100% COVID. We had another friend who died as well, and he was only 30. Yikes, really? But he did have pre-existing conditions. Dies of COVID. Yikes, at 30. Missy says, I'm just glad the government is letting it go. Yeah. For now. We'll see what they have in store next chapter. I did feel kind of good that my mom kind of accidentally, my mom's a real boomer and watches CNN and got vaccinated and all that. And she's smart, but she doesn't really question the official story about anything she believes. The news. And she made some comment. She goes, I'm glad now that the COVID thing is over. I was like, hey, yeah. It is nice, isn't it, Mom? We went out without wearing masks. And, because an argument could be made. It's like, nothing's over. What are you talking about? There's just as many intelligent people. Isn't Fauci saying keep your mask on? Get vaccinated and keep your mask on? They keep on giving us directions, but a lot of people are just kind of tuning out. Like, what? Okay, yeah, whatever. It's kind of like the guidelines to sun exposure. Make sure you always wear sunscreen. And people kind of go, what do they recommend? Oh, okay. Hey, man, you got a light? What's the government recommend about my health? Oh, the government told me not to do it. Okay. Is it a sin? Okay. Old, who's that skinny lesbian who reads the news? Maddow. I forget her name. The Maddow lady who used to wear glasses and has a boy haircut. She was talking about getting vaxxed and then taking her mask off, and then she looks around and she says, I have to reprogram my brain. I got to reprogram it because now when I see someone who's not wearing a mask, I wonder, is that person an anti-vaxxer? Does that person, or is he just doesn't care? Is he a science denier? Or is he just being selfish? Like all these negative things. Because for 1 year she wore a mask, now she's got all this weird programmed responses to. It's like since the beginning of time, nobody wore masks, dummy. And you didn't read into it then. But now it's like, what does this say about you politically? That you won't wear a mask. I just don't know sometimes, sweetie. I just don't know either. We just ran out of time and I didn't get you up here, sweetie. You guys, I'm sitting here rambling away. And Natasha doesn't even get to come up here, and now we're out of time. I could just come up there anyway. That's true. But I don't have a good song. Okay. We need some Queen of England versus Meghan Markle skits, please. You know what we should do? What's that, sweetie? We could do an intervention. Have a talking circle with the Queen of England and Meghan Markle. Try to that's an excellent suggestion, Brian. Hey, and BOOZHOO, Brian. I'll look into that. Maybe tomorrow. You remember how yesterday we said we were going to get Steven on the show today? Yeah. And then remember how I just kept talking about nonsense until we ran out of time? Yeah. Well, tomorrow, let's call up the Queen on one line, and then we'll get Meghan Markle on the other line, and her old man, Prince Henry. Prince Charming, I call him. Oh, that guy's got a good beard, huh? Yeah, he's like a handsome ginger G.I. Joe. Exactly. Prince Harry's a handsome ginger G.I. Joe. His hair and his beard just match. All he's missing is that little scar. Anyway, we'll get them on the line, and I'll try to, maybe bridge the gap. Maybe heal the wounds in that family. I think both sides have. I think they just need someone to facilitate. That's what it is. Help facilitate a conversation. Okay. I'm not promising I'll do that, Brian, but that would be really, really hilarious. All right, you crazy cats. I got something I want to say to you all. I want to say, before we get too far, Miigwech Bizendawieg. Thank you for listening to me ramble on about nothing. Except that okay, what did we learn today, sweetie? John Benet Ramsey is Katy Brand, Russell Brand's wife, ex-wife. Katy Perry. Yep, Katy Perry is John Benet Ramsey. George Washington Monument is not George Washington, the president. There you go. And Ojibwe Phrase of the day. Oh, and it's Nijo Geisha Good Tuesday. It's Tuesday. And la la la. That's it. All right. Okay, you guys, I'm going to mahjong. I'm going to leave. But I want to say miigwech kanawabi egg. Thank you for watching. BOOZHOO NANABOOZHOO. The podcast about Ojibwe language and culture. I am NANABOOZHOO. And over here, the lovely and the talented. Would you cut it out? Natasha. And then over here, the ruggedly handsome Michael Lyons. Hello, everybody. Thanks for watching. And if you like this show, click the like, the thumbs up. If you hate the show, I don't blame you. You just wasted a whole hour. Come on, man. Hit the thumbs down. If you want to order a book by Michael Lyons, click the link to Amazon. He's got some books in the Ojibwe language. And, if you'd like to support the show, you can click the link to our Patreon page. And if you sign up, you can get one of Michael's books for free. And, let's see, what else? PayPal. Oh, we also have a GoFundMe. Gonna raise some bread if you want to give us a tip. Click the link to GoFundMe. All right. Miigwech. And I will see you again. Gigawabamin. Minowa.